10-4, Forkers. Call sign Sea Monkey here on the ones and twos. The plan is coming together. Mikey cracked Page's locker riddle with a little help from yours truly. He's making weapons for himself, Lark, and Clinton out of the bones of a prehistoric sea lizard Page left for them in Helmsfolk HQ. Clinton procured a pig mask and chainsaw from Ruth at the costume emporium in the woods, and Lark picked up his handgun from his apartment. What happens at the Swales tonight will determine the future of this town and our story. Onward, into strangeness and adventure. Sea Monkey out.
Welcome back to Moon Fork. Today we're just going to chat a little bit about getting on the exact same page as far as like what each of our characters have, kind of items wise, and if there's any other final prep that they would like to do before heading into the Harvest Festival movie night at the base of the Swales, where a monster attack is likely to occur. But we can just kind of go around, and I just want to like check in so that there's nothing during the battle, unless it's Mystic Mikey's preparedness roll that is like blindsiding us as far as like, well, like I promise I like thought I had this pair of scissors to like jam into this eyeball, and it's like, well, we need to talk about that. But so first I wanted to hear about, I know we have like Mystic Mikey was crafting weapons from the skeleton that you all found in the bottom of Page's locker in Helmsfolk HQ. And I just want to get on the same page about what each person has as far as a weapon. So I know Lark has the single bullet that I hope Tommy still has the roll that Tommy did last time. So that'll be good. And then what were you envisioning, Tommy, as far as like what Mystic Mikey would have and what Clinton would have? Like I know there was talk of a spear, but I just want to nail that down.
Yeah, I think I remember a spear, or I guess we could also go with like a walking stick or something like that, like that as would be fit like an old man or something, for my guy Clinton.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, I think we thought that there were like 2 total weapons that could be made from the jaw.
Yeah. It was like as many as you want, but like in order to have like a lot of them, I would say like they would have to be simple weapons. So like the more complex they are, the more I'll limit you. But right now you just have one bullet. So like,
okay,
that's not, I mean, it is obviously complex to craft a bullet, I would imagine, but it's like a small piece, you know? So I'm not sure I'm going to like ding you a ton for that. So it was like, what the example we were giving was like if you wanted to try to make like a whole contraption or catapult or something, but like walking stick and bullet, you got a lot of room for the next one. And I'll just remind you that it wouldn't be like an entire walking stick made of bone. It would probably be like mainly wood with like a sharp point at the end or something. So spear like walking stick.
So my current kit is I have a magic dagger, a flamethrower, and a juju bag. I think it would be kind of fun to like grind up some of the jawbone into like a powder and like mix it into my flamethrower. I don't know if that will like canonically work in terms of causing harm on this creature, but that sounds kind of fun. So
yeah, I mean, I almost wonder if like we didn't really at the beginning, you know, agree on like I didn't tell you what you could and couldn't have. That's just what's on the sheet. So I wonder almost like I'm not a big chemistry thermodynamics person. I don't even think this is thermodynamics, but like I think probably putting the bone powder into a flamethrower would be like less effective than like just putting it, like maybe that's your juju bag, is like you have a bag full of this powder that you're like ready to kind of like douse it with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I was imagining more. But also like y'all realized through your research that like it has to be hurt with it. So I don't know if like it would be rational to be like, I hurt you by like sprinkling this powder on you. I don't know. It's up to you.
I guess I could also just create like another simple weapon, you know, like maybe just like a regular bone dagger and use that in replacement of my magic dagger for this encounter.
Yeah, I like that. So we've got a single bullet for Lark's pistol, a bone dagger, and a walking stick with a sharpened point that has some of the bone embedded in that. I like that.
And Johnny, will you remind me what the I saved the roll, but will you remind me what the mechanic of that bullet is related
That
to my
was just like
roll?
I wanted you to add whatever you would add for like crafting. So probably, I guess it would, like, what would it be sharp? Probably sharp. Or
Yeah.
is there something on one of your skills that is like your best skill? I guess it could be weird, but
Yeah, sharp is my best skill.
yeah, I just wanted to give it to you as like this is Mystic Mikey doing Mystic Mikey stuff.
Got it. Okay.
And so it would be like, mainly what I'm trying to build up here is like, there's some, dramatic irony as far as like, we know Lark has the bullet, but we don't know if it will like explode in the gun or something. How well made is the bullet?
Yep. Got it.
Yeah. And then I think the only other thing I wanted to ask before we kind of play out the scene is like, we pretty much all of last episode just did like a prep episode as far as what y'all wanted to get up to, investigate stuff, talk to people, make these weapons. And we were just like, time is kind of frozen between 3 and nightfall. And then I was just wondering if there was anything else y'all wanted to do as far as like talking to people or going off on a little side quest here before diving in and we unpause time. But unless there's something that you all have had, nagging at your mind for a while, I think we can probably just jump into it. But I wanted to give space for that.
No, I think the boys, at least speaking for myself, I think I'm ready to get after a little combat on this guy.
All set. Okay. So you all make your way down Granite Lane to the familiar base of the Swales that has been, not transformed, but somewhat livened up by your fellow townsfolk pitching blankets. Some are doing some charcuterie boards. Wine is flowing, cider is flowing. You do see a few kids here and there, but they're generally older folks. And you notice that the good babysitters in town are all absent. So you imagine that a lot of that's going on. Dr. Adrian Kipchetti kind of sees your group roll up and kind of nudges closer to her husband and does not make eye contact. But you see everyone kind of coalescing around this large projector screen that has been kind of plastered up onto the large hillside. And you see that intern from before fidgeting with a projector behind the crowd, kind of trying to get an image that shows up well on the screen. Eventually, he makes it happen. And one other thing I wanted to ask about is at the end of last episode, Clinton procured from Ruth in her strangely shifting emporium of costumes a pig mask and a fake chainsaw. And I was wondering, like, are you carrying those on your person? Or are you like not walking in with the others? You're going to like jump in and scare them later. What was your plan there?
My plan was to not walk in with the others, I think, and kind of, I don't know where the screen is exactly, but I'm kind of somewhere shadowy, kind of crouching
I
down.
see. Lurking. Okay, so
Lurking,
then,
yeah.
Mystic Mikey and Lark kind of roll up. And do you have like a blanket? You got chairs? What are y'all sitting in?
I think I have one of those. I was going to say one of the little portable folding chairs that kind of is small and easy to stow away.
Nice. Very Lark.
My ass is just planted directly on the ground, and it's like it's a little wet. It's a little uncomfortable, and I'm
It
kind of
definitely
jealous
is.
of Mikey. Is like, you can tell I'm just like seething with like a little bit of jealousy that my boy Lark has a chair. I'm just cold on the ground.
I would expect nothing less. So you all kind of set up your little situation, and the title screen comes on, Motel Hell, 1980, and the movie begins. It is the story, as we covered last time, of a motel owner and meat magnate and slash farmer murdering people at his hotel and then making them into sausages. Kind of Sweeney Todd-esque, but a lot more campy, a lot less singing. And we get about 30 minutes of the way into the movie, and everything is going fine. Nothing has kind of happened. While kind of you're getting into this first act of the movie, for lack of a better term, Clinton, are you like positioning yourself anywhere? Are you trying to keep watch? What's kind of the idea behind your lurking presence?
Yeah, my thought would be that I'm kind of just like, yeah, definitely surveying, trying to be a kind of a field general, looking out to see if there are any signs of the monster coming through the forest.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think maybe you would like try to get a higher vantage point, or you're just keeping your eyes on the forest?
I think just keeping my eyes on the forest.
Gotcha. Yeah. So there are like a number of different, I guess, like forest points to keep an eye on. So there's like the place where you found the two lovers at the beginning of the like way back in episode 1. And then there's also the place over closer to like the high school that's a lot more north. And so I'm wondering if you like were keeping an eye on one of those or the other, or if you're kind of just like looking out into the night.
Yeah, like I guess my feeling would be I do have tune in, which I'm not sure like if this is the right time for this, but like I do wonder like if I'd be trying to like use some of that kind of power to kind of just like have a sense of when it's going to come through the forest.
Yeah, for sure. So is tune in, that's the one where you can kind of like read minds?
I can attune my mind in a monster or minion.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that is worthwhile. So as you hear some pretty poorly written dialogue going on in this movie, meanwhile, I want to ask like Mystic Mikey, Lark, how are you enjoying this movie? Do you like horror movies? What's kind of the vibe there?
I'm just Mystic Mikey is like visibly enthralled. Just totally slack jawed. Eyes are like just loving it. Just loving life. And not a single thought happening in his brain. Kind of completely forgot the reason that they're even there in the first place. And it's just total reality suspense. Yeah.
My palms are definitely sweating, but I'm not paying attention to the movie. I'm more so thinking about, what's coming.
I imagine people kind of like screaming or making like little like oohs and ah sounds as the plot starts to unravel, and Lark's just kind of like completely in his. Each Lark and Mikey are in their own worlds. Meanwhile, in Clinton's world, he flicks his lighter on, and a small Cronoa face comes into view, and Cronoa goes,
"Yes, Clinton, what can I help with?"
Firebird, where is this monster going to attack next?
"Oh, let me just give me a moment. I feel smelling, Clinton. I feel a lot of smelling. And I feel Hunger. It's coming.
And then the face blinks out of view. And right on cue, you kind of see a looming figure emerge from not really like. I imagine you're not looking, right at the woods. I don't think you're close enough, but you see kind of a figure kind of loping down the road, Granite Lane, from the direction of the ranger station where you initially kind of prevented its first attack, or what you would assume to be its first attack. Although it is far off in the distance at this point, so it's not like it's right upon you right away, but you do clock something. Meanwhile, the movie's kind of, I doubt it's like a super long movie. I bet it's like about a 90-minute one, and it's, just past halfway. So it's really starting to get into like the wild stuff where a lot of people are dying. Sausages are being served, I would imagine. I'm pretty sure there's a plot point where the local sheriff is brothers with the meat magnate, and they kind of have a thing where the sheriff's like, people are disappearing, and the meat magnate's like, oh, that's so sad, what can I do to help, all that good stuff. Do you take any action, Clinton, or do you just kind of let it come?
I think I'm going to try to time it. So kind of as I start to see it coming this way, that's when I'm going to just start jumping out and start kind of roaring and kind of pulling the fake string on the chainsaw and kind of trying to get people to scatter.
So you're full pig masked up.
Yeah, I'm full pig masked up right now, just ready to get people to leave.
Okay, well then let's say actually that it's like in the climax of the movie is when the pig mask really comes out, and the meat magnate / hotel owner / farmer is fighting his brother. But the brother, I don't think knows it's like the sheriff brother doesn't know it's his brother. He's just fighting this, evil person with a pig mask on. And that's kind of like the big scene in Motel Hell. So you pop out right as, the fight reaches zenith, and are running around, screaming with this chainsaw, which you realize to be a real chainsaw. So you try to be careful with that. Ruth doesn't, skimp on the supplies, and people do kind of start to scatter. What I want you to do is I want you to roll, I guess I'll let you choose whether it's manipulate someone or act under pressure, because I think this could be either. And I want you to roll and see how well you do.
Yeah, both are -1 for me, so I will do act under pressure, I think.
Alrighty.
I rolled an 11 with a -1 modifier, so 10. Let's go.
That is clutch. Okay, you do what you set out to do. So you successfully scatter the crowd. Moonfork is not a very large town. So I think a lot of people are pretty close to their houses and definitely don't want anything to do with a masked weirdo running around with a chainsaw on an already kind of creepy night. You might say that it is poor judgment for them to have been here in the first place, but we love a good community horror movie. Everyone starts to scatter and run home. Meanwhile, Lark and Mystic Mikey, I imagine, stand up to kind of see what the what caused Clinton to jump into action. Clinton is he's not an agile person, so he's kind of stumbling around with the chainsaw, and it is, somewhat horrifying for Lark and Mystic Mikey to see that he is somewhat struggling to control it, but he's doing okay. And he's there in his slacks, his chinos, and his sweater vest. And then Lark and Mystic Mikey stand up. They know something would have triggered Clinton to kind of jump into action. And you do see this creature that was, loping, getting closer and closer. Now is kind of at a full sprint as he sees that, people are dispersing. And so you see a over 7 foot tall hooded figure, very muscular, running towards you. And you actually see that instead of going for what was the crowd kind of in this clearing underneath the swales, you see that the figure pauses for a moment once he gets close enough and seems to be deciding where to, focus his energy, because now the crowd's dispersing. He's basically thinking probably along the lines of like, where are the most people going towards so that I can, spring in that direction. What do you do?
How far away are we from Scary Creature right now?
I would say probably about maybe 30 meters.
Okay.
Pretty close.
I guess we could try to get his attention.
Should I try revving the chainsaw? Yeah, like I'll try revving this real chainsaw that I have, which is not one of my weapons apparently, but this is just something that I have that it's going to be mostly used as a come get me thing. So I'm kind of still rickety dancing around, and will rev my chainsaw to try to get it to kind of come towards us and not run away again.
I'm gonna brandish my brain like above my head, like and just
yes, the brain, of course.
Yeah, try to get his attention.
We're both kind of dancing back and forth with a brain and a chainsaw in this field. Yeah.
I'm imagining that Mikey kind of momentarily forgot who Clinton is and that he knows about this spectacle, and it's like, hey man, like are you here to help? Like a cool costume.
It's me, you moron.
Clint, what's up, man? Oh my
god. Lark, anything you're doing, or you're watching it unfold?
I have my flashlight out that I tried to whack it with earlier. I'm thinking if it gets close, I'm going to try to get the flashlight between its huge hinging jaws so it can't clamp down on me as hard, just in case.
Amazing. Yeah, that is good thinking. Okay, so you all are kind of doing this. It's impossible not to clock it. I'll say that. The sound and the spectacle is undeniably enticing to the creature. But what I'll let one of you, whichever one wants to do it, roll and act under pressure since this has kind of all happened pretty quickly. See if your tableau is enough to kind of entice the monster toward you, or if it's going to go after, another resident.
What's the modifier?
Yep.
Yeah,
what's
it
the
is
modifier?
plus cool.
I have 1 to cool.
What about you, Clinton?
I have -1.
Clinton's got
so
-1.
-1. I feel like I've been bad at rolling recently, so.
So it's got to turn good eventually. Roll now.
Yeah.
I feel like Mystic
Law of
Mikey
averages.
is hoisting the brain, so why don't we go with Mystic Mikey?
All right. I got a 7.
Seven's better than a 6.
Yeah.
7 is the keeper is going to give you a worse outcome, hard choice, or price to pay. I'm going to say that the worst outcome is that the spectacle is so enticing that the creature like gets up in your grill with this preternatural speed and like slashes at you with a claw and takes a chunk out of your shoulder, Mystic Mikey, for 1 harm. So you do such a good job of attracting the creature that you take a little bit of damage as it immediately focuses on you. And now we are kind of in, a combat situation. So one of the things that the Keeper Handbook mentions, this is kind of a PSA for all the people checking out this game, is of course there is the basic move, kick some ass, which I'll just explain how that works pretty quickly here before we get super deep in. When you get into a fight and kick some ass, which is exactly what it sounds like, roll plus tough. On a 7+, you and whatever you're fighting inflict harm on each other. So the basic move is just like, you hit it hits you. And that's interesting about this game since I'm never rolling. It's like you all get to choose like when you get hit, essentially. Whether it's failing a roll like or middling success on a roll, failing a roll, or kick some ass. On a 10+, you still get hit, but you get to choose an extra effect, which is basically just a boon for you all. Like you can force the monster where you want it or inflict extra harm, stuff like that. And then on a failure, of course, bad stuff happens. But like, as I was saying, as part of the Keeper Handbook, one of the things they recommend is to not just, go around in a circle and be like, okay, Lark, try kicking some ass. Okay, Mystic Mikey, now try kicking some ass. Okay, Clinton. Like, I'm supposed to put you all in dynamic situations that you can respond to with a number of moves and using creativity. So let's try to do that collaboratively as we go. The monster is right up in Mystic Mikey's grill. It's really focusing on the brain that he is holding above his head, which I imagine is kind of wobbling now that one of his arms has been injured. And you see the monster kind of ready to unhinge its jaw, going for definitely the brain above Mystic Mikey, if not Mystic Mikey himself. What do you do? The way this kind of works also is we don't have it's not like D&D where we have like initiative order. So everyone can kind of like go whenever they want to go. And I won't like add stuff until each person has kind of had their say.
So he just took a swing at me.
Yeah, he kind of swiped at your shoulder.
Yeah. All right. I think I'm going to immediately retaliate with my little bone dagger.
Okay. So Mystic Mikey, seizing on that youthful courage and adrenaline, kind of is holding the brain in the good arm, pulls out the bone dagger with the slightly injured arm and thrusts it forward in kind of this close combat scenario. Where are you kind of aiming on this creature? I imagine you're kind of little compared to it, so where are you aiming?
I am small. I think I'm trying to just go for like center mass, like belly button, right in the navel.
Going for the tummy. Go ahead and roll kick some ass.
It's tough on kick some ass?
Yep.
Okay, so I got a raw 10, so a 9.
That's dope. Y'all can help if you would like, but a 9 is definitely not bad. It's like both things just inflict harm.
Can I try to help out? I was thinking the same with the flashlight. While he's stabbing, if it's kind of got its mouth open, I want to try to get the flashlight. I mean, this might be stupid, but flashlight in the mouth so that we can jam the brain in, like force feed it.
Oh yeah, I don't think that sounds dumb at all. I think that's a great idea. Go ahead and roll help out. So that is plus cool as we see Lark kind of dive forward, try to jam this large flashlight in the creature's mouth to stave off it closing its jaw.
Okay, so I got a 5.
5 is bad. 5, I take a hard move, so I am just going to say that as you kind of jam the flashlight forward into the mouth, the creature gets kind of the jump on you and closes its jaw prematurely, and you lose one of your hands. You lose the hand you were going in with. You can definitely use luck if you would like, but this is kind of like a very gritty game. So like if you have a big monster take a hard move against you, that's the kind of stuff that can happen.
How much? You said we have 7 luck. How much luck do we have?
Yeah. So it's like, I believe it is 7, but if you use all 7, or maybe it's 8, but if you use all 8, you're doomed. So functionally, you have 7.
Okay, so I do think because this is a podcast where I'm gonna not be able to regenerate my hand, I'm gonna if I expend a luck, is it a crit success or is it just?
Yeah, it becomes a critical success. So you wouldn't mark experience for the failure, but you would have your hand and you would have the flashlight in its mouth.
Yeah, I do think I'm going to use some luck here because otherwise I might be.
You're going to want your hand, I bet.
Yeah, I'm going to want my hand. I'm going to want to keep my hand.
Everybody loves their hands. Okay, so you kind of feel the monster's mouth begin to close, and you really focus on this task. You realize kind of in that moment, I think, it's one thing to plan for something like this, but it's another to like actually engage in combat with kind of this otherworldly creature that is very strong. And you kind of, a pulse of adrenaline pumps through you, and you're able to succeed, push the flashlight into its mouth, which does send it reeling a little bit and certainly makes it a lot less threatening for Mystic Mikey, which bumps Mystic Mikey's kick some ass roll up to a 10+, which is choose one extra effect. So you gain the advantage, take +1 forward or give +1 forward to another hunter, which basically just means on their next roll, they'll get a +1. You inflict terrible harm, so you just add a harm to the knife's harm. You suffer less harm, -1 harm, or you force them where you want them, which basically is like you can push them around and push them into certain positions.
I think I'm going to take the push them around, and I want to like trip the monster prone so he's laying down.
Okay.
And that way we can like, I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna like trip him, and then I'm gonna like toss the brain to Clinton to try and like shove into his mouth.
Okay, I
Alley-oop
love
situation.
that.
Yeah.
A little brain alley-oop.
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense. So what happens here is we see Lark kind of heroically jam this flashlight into the mouth, and then Mystic Mikey, with using kind of the awkwardness of the size difference, kind of just like jam his body, almost like a full body tackle, into like just the legs of this huge creature, this huge-headed creature. It falls over, and in doing so, Mystic Mikey kind of clambers over and jabs it with his bone knife. Meanwhile, as it's falling over, it like rears forward with its open jaw, and Mystic Mikey, you are kind of slashed more so across kind of the stomach area as well, as it tumbles over, taking another 1 harm with this glancing blow. So how much does the knife do? Is it 1 or 2? Probably 1.
I'm guessing it's a. I mean, if we just take like the knife sheet.
Yeah, I think a
from
gun
the
is
playbook.
like 2. So I think it's more.
My gear sheet says 1 harm for a
Yeah.
big knife.
I mean, it's not enchanted, but because it's, I mean, not super effective, but almost super effective, would that be any different?
Yeah,
Do we see what happens when you get stabbed with a tooth knife or whatever it is? Sorry.
Yeah, so you definitely, Mystic Mikey, I'll give you this. What you feel is like when you stab, you feel like a scaly texture to like what's underneath his cloak, and you like as you kind of pull the knife away, you hear something that sounds almost like a clank, like almost like as if it were an armored hide, that the bone like pierced through like butter. Like it was very easy to go through with this magical weapon, and you would imagine that without using kind of a weapon that was born from this skeleton, that it would be a lot harder to puncture and do like real damage to this creature. So like functionally and mechanically, this means like you're glad you have these weapons. Yeah. What do we want to do next?
So we're trying to alley-oop the brain, right?
Right, you're alley-ooping the brain, of course. So let's just have this be an act under pressure roll for the whole thing, and we'll just kind of let it ride. So we can have, I imagine, well, here's what I'll say. Clinton already did a good act under pressure roll, so we can let that ride, and we'll just have it come from Mystic Mikey to kind of determine the placement of the brain as you hurl it in the air.
What's the modifier on act under pressure again? Sorry.
Plus cool.
Okay, I got a 10. I'm rolling good today.
Sweet. Wow, on fire. Okay, on a 10 plus, you do what you set out to do. So a perfectly lobbed brain heads over to Clinton. Clinton with the pig mask still on, holding somehow a chainsaw, a walking stick, and having a free hand to jam it. Does a slam a jamma into the mouth, and you feel that you hit it spot on. It goes. It actually, unfortunately, dislodges the flashlight, but you do see that the creature swallows it. So this creature is still trying to gather itself, but you have fed it 1 brain, and now it's kind of on a clock for how long it has before it starts to get pretty sluggish. So that's definitely moving the action forward. Lark, what do you want to get up to?
What I was thinking was going to happen to some extent was, I don't know, because there is a clock, I don't know if this would work, but I was thinking while it's knocked prone, if if Mystic Mikey, apologies, and Clinton were to kind of try to stand on each arm, I could kind of go up to the forehead with the single bullet.
Sure.
Do we see like something about this monster, like picking out a weak spot, or like seeing something where it's like, oh, that's clearly where we should shoot it, or kind of just going off of the human assumption of like we're going to shoot it in the head and that's probably going to work?
I will say that the main things that you notice about it that are unique, having never, seen a creature like this before, are it does have like what like an anglerfish has, so kind of like a light antenna type of deal hanging off of its forehead. I don't think that you would perceive that to be a weak spot, but that is kind of a unique facet of it. It's got this massive jaw with these kind of jagged white teeth, very sharp in it. Its eyes kind of look like those of a bulldog, which is kind of unsettling. Its skin is like completely, like I said, scaly, and this kind of midnight black color. And other than that, it is like pretty clothed. It's not like a naked beast running around. So other than that, you just see like a humanoid frame. That's pretty much what I can give you.
Yeah. So would that be too crazy? I guess maybe it's too riled up still to try to hold it down. Because I don't want to inflict any more harm on Mikey. I feel like I would.
I'm imagining that this guy's still laying down prone and has just been fed the brain. So I think you could just rock up to its head and shoot it if you really wanted to.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good logical. Like Mystic Mikey and Clinton just did the alley-oop. They're kind of doing creative stuff. Lark just pulls out the gun and goes boom, boom. Yeah.
Yeah. Do I roll or am I waiting on?
Yeah. You roll, kick some ass.
Mikey's, okay. And that is what's the modifier? Sorry.
Plus tough.
Okay. Oh, God. Well, here goes nothing. Okay, that is a 10 minus 1, 9.
Pretty good. So that's just going to be like a regular, you do damage to it, it does damage to you. Mikey, you see Lark kind of pull out this pistol that's gleaming in the moonlight, sort of cocks it back and fires as this creature starts to try to get up from the ground. What was the roll on the... Well, I assume you're shooting the bone bullet, right, Lark?
Yes.
Okay, what was the roll on that one, Mystic Mikey? How well did you make it?
In continuation of a theme today, I rolled a 10 on that roll. So
amazing. Yeah. Okay, so you see it kind of eject from the chamber, this loud crack as it flies through the air. Obviously, you can't really see it doing that, and it lodges in, we'll say, the creature's eye, which is, as you can imagine, completely enraging for it, since it was a well-crafted bullet from, close range. It does a lot of damage, and you see this creature start to ooze this very disconcerting, like almost flaming blood, like almost like magma kind of erupting from its eye and like kind of slowly making its way down its, I guess, for lack of a better term, its cheek, like into its mouth, kind of like down onto its clothing, which is like gleaming and like gleaming orange in the moonlight. And you kind of see, or Clinton, you feel almost like as if it were a 2026 situation. Of course it's not. We're in 1997. You feel the lighter in your pocket kind of like vibrating a little bit, almost like you're getting a 2026 phone call when this blood starts to kind of erupt down from the creature's cheek. But it stops as soon as it comes. And also you wouldn't really know that it's like a phone call, so you don't feel the need to like pick it up or whatever, but you feel some kind of connection to this blood that is pumping out of the creature. That definitely hurt it a lot. It is enraged, and as it kind of stands up, it let's see what it does here. It goes ahead and just kind of makes a beeline for the individual that ruined it a little bit on the last turn. And it kind of opens its jaw, not as wide as you saw when it attacked Shermie Jackson's father, but it does bite down, and you kind of dodge out of the way with your head, Lark. But it does take a chunk kind of out of your torso area for 2 harm. So you got pretty damage from that one, but it is significantly injured now, and you've hurt it to the point of it being enraged, as you see. What's next, folks? We're kind of in the second round of combat here. I'd love to hear if Clinton has something to do.
Yeah, so right now, I feel like now that we kind of know that it's, or our hypothesis is that now it'll start weakening a bit, right? Because we've brained it and also shot it in the face. So like now, like, do we need to find a way to get some distance from it, maybe, like, and kind of make it come after us, or should we just keep stabbing it with the knife and taking harm every single time?
I mean, we could try using something else on it and just see what happens. But I don't know. I think that would be interesting from an academic perspective.
What else do we have?
Maybe we could try to do both, like, because it is obvious, it's locked onto us to some extent. Maybe me and Mikey, I'm trying to help him, and he's trying to help me, like, limp away, and you're kind of protecting our 6 with a chainsaw, swinging it. I don't know.
I don't know that we're trying to run away, though. I mean, we're injured, but we need to kill this thing. Right?
Well, I don't
want him to say back off.
I'm not saying run away, necessarily, more so just trying to get it to keep moving, so we're not engaging with it, but keeping it locked on us. Because we do, like we said, we have a timer, maybe. So maybe if we kind of try to milk it a little, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, gotcha. Like timer until it becomes sated
weaker,
and kind of woozy. All right. That's not a bad idea.
I'll try to wave the chainsaw in its face and kind of just try to give Lark and Mystic Mikey some space to kind of get some room and kind of make their next attack.
Okay, sounds good. I'm going to say that this is kind of a belated protect someone. So it's like you're kind of trying to do that forward for perhaps its next attack. And so when you prevent harm to another character, roll plus tough. And so we'll see what the outcome is.
I have a 0 modifier. And I rolled a 4.
Yeah, 4 is a hard move. So what I'm going to say is it reels back after biting into Lark as kind of a retaliatory gesture. And it starts to take off toward the row of homes on Granite Lane, where you see some people have kind of started to, get in their homes, but others have like sort of from across the street been watching kind of in horror. And it starts to sprint toward those other townsfolk. So away from you at a pretty fast pace. That's what happens.
These people did see us do the alley-oop brain move, though, while we were fighting this monster, we think.
They did, yeah.
That's pretty important for the squad.
That's sick.
And you notice, Clinton, you notice that, like, you saw it, at full speed when it was, running toward the movie. And you now notice that, like, it's still moving at pace, like, faster than any of you can run. But there is, like, a slight sluggishness to its step. So it is somewhat weakened, but you don't think that's really going to matter in the face of, like, can it eat these people? What do you do?
So how far away has he gotten at this point?
The creature is, like, starting to cross Granite Lane. So the swales are on one side and the houses are just on the other. So, like, he's going to be on the people in, like, a matter of moments. But you definitely have time to, like, intervene if there's something you can do at range, or you can run after it, but that might risk, some loss of life. It's just like with a hard move, it's not like he starts to run. It's like he's already kind of pretty there.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm just gonna run up and kick some ass again, I suppose. And
Okay.
yeah. Give it
Yeah, so
another-
Mystic Mikey is this glowing beacon running across the street. You see that the creature makes it to the door of one of the houses where the residents, have promptly gone inside, locked the door, and you start to hear some screams. It kind of just rears back and takes one bite of the door frame and just makes a hole big enough for its body to sort of wriggle through. As it starts to do so, it's not like quite big enough hole for it to like just walk right through. So it's a little bit like hampered. And that's kind of when you see your opening. And what are you going for it with? The bone knife still?
I think so. I mean, we don't know anything about this that would suggest that, like, I don't know. I do have a flamethrower.
You could set
which
the house
seems-
on fire.
which seems fun. But maybe not the right moment for that to deploy a flamethrower.
It's up to you.
Maybe if he gets in there and he's already chomping people, maybe we go for it. But
Right.
I did have a question about the flamethrower. Is there any way we know that it's not going to work with like the bone ash, but I'm thinking because we do have Clinton here, could it almost be like an amplifier for Cronoa? It's not like
Possible.
obviously Cronoa doesn't really want to fight itself necessarily because it is kind of connected with the monster, but I just wasn't sure if that was an angle that we could try to take.
Definitely can try. You can try to do some spooky shit. We would probably do a plus weird type of thing. But Clinton would need to tell me what the goal of it is, of course. It wouldn't just be like, Cronoa amplify. It would be like, I want to. Yeah.
I'm thinking like maybe we'll have more control. Like maybe less so burn the whole house down, more so like fire laser beam if, like more accurate.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ideally that would be an outside thing if you don't want to burn the house down just because, you're close to probably the most flammable thing around, which is like a house made of a lot of wooden components. But yeah, I think right now Mystic Mikey just going for like a stab in the back as it tries to kind of scramble through this door is a good move.
I think that's what I am going to do.
Let's do it.
What is the... Sorry, so this is a...
Plus tough.
This is just kick some ass?
Kick some ass.
Okay. So I got a 7.
7, you kick that ass. You and whatever you're fighting inflict harm on each other. So first I want to know, Lark and Clinton, are you kind of going up to the door with Mystic Mikey, or are you doing something else around the house before we kind of resolve this damage?
I'm definitely screaming like get inside. Like I'm like definitely like holy shit, I'm gonna cause more people in this town to die. So I'm kind of having a little bit of a mental breakdown, like screaming, get inside, get inside.
Like some
as I
crowd
sprint towards the
control.
door. Yeah.
Yeah, and are you still wearing the pig mask? Have you taken that off?
I am. No,
I'm still wearing the pig mask. So like they definitely heed your order, but you can't tell if it's because like they understand what you're saying or if it's just because, they're scared of you, like they're scared of the other thing attacking. But most of the folks near the current kind of calamity go inside. Meanwhile, Lark, what are you up to?
I'd like to say that I'm doing something extremely heroic, but I'm kind of doubled over holding my chest and I'm limping after Mikey trying to get there. But
Gotcha. Yeah. So as Mikey kind of stabs down into the creature, it manages to shake loose one of its very powerful legs and kind of kicks Mikey directly in the stomach, and now he too is doubled over for 2 more harm. Which I believe, Mikey, if you've taken enough now, you might be unstable. Is that what it says?
I think I've taken 3 harm.
Okay, 3.
I believe it's 4 or more harm.
Yeah, I think it is 4 or more. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's just like with unstable wounds, so we're close to that with Mikey. You would take +1 harm for each time you take harm, and like you need medical attention after. But I just wanted to like make that a thing. Okay, so we've got that done. The monster kind of like shrieks in pain again as it is stabbed in the back here, and it is kind of lodged in this door now, since it kind of shook its foot free to kick Mystic Mikey. You think it'll probably scramble out in a few moments, but you do hear behind the door like muffled screaming as like you imagine it's kind of unhinging its jaw at the residents inside, but just not quite making it there. What do folks want to do? I imagine Lark now has made it over to Mystic Mikey, who's kind of doubled over with the wind knocked out of him. Clinton, you have seen the folks inside their homes, and you have this monster kind of trapped in a weird little awkward hole in the door.
I'm thinking, because it took me a little bit longer to get over there and I saw what's unfolding, I'm going to go around the back of the house, and I'm just going to take my 38. I'm just going to break one of the windows and scream in there like, get out of the house, climb out this window.
Okay. In there, you see a family. It is the Abernathy family, which was actually one of the individuals who Clinton saved in the prologue. And so it is the two Abernathy parents and the son Ambrose, and they're scared when they, hear their window broken and someone comes through the back, but they recognize you, Lark, and they kind of like wordlessly heed your directions as they had kind of been watching you fight this creature. And they kind of rush out the back door, or maybe even the window that you came through, and they kind of make their way out of the house and start running north toward the high school. So you've kind of cleared the house as far as you can see. The only other inhabitant is a little kitty, who like kind of is meowing on the stairs. And it's one of those houses where the stairs are like right when you walk in. So the kitty is pretty close to the monster. Very scared kitty. And that's what you see.
I don't want this cat to get hurt, like big time. That would be sad.
Yeah, my kind of vibe right now is I'm like basically freaking out, and like I think that I'm just like pissed at this monster, and I'm gonna try to take the dagger from Mystic Mikey, who's bowled over, and just like re go after it again. Like really, just I'm like kind of like having a nervous breakdown, and I'm like kind of like yelling, and with this pig mask on, I kind of just try to like lunge myself at the door, unhinged jaw, and stab it as hard as I can, kind of screaming and kind of just putting all of my force and whatever old man strength I have into it.
And while that's happening, I'm still in the window. I'm like, pss, 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 pss. Kitty, come here, kitty. Pss, pss.
It is also hissing and is like overstimulated, you can tell. So it's not, Lark is not enough of a cat whisperer to get it to come toward it. Instead, Clinton, I almost wonder, like, instead of taking the knife from Mikey, if we use your walking stick here, where you kind of just two-handed, like, try to jam that into the creature, as you're kind of like, like you said, having a moment in this pig mask. Go ahead and kick some ass.
Okay. Let's go. I got 11.
11. That's awesome. Okay, so choose an extra effect. You can take +1 forward. You can inflict terrible harm. You can suffer less harm, and you can force them where you want them.
I think at this point, I'm just like so pissed at it that I'm going to inflict terrible harm on it. Like my goal is just to give it a big smack.
Inflicting terrible harm is a good idea. You kind of plunge this walking stick deep into its kind of scaly armor through it, and Mystic Mikey, you're kind of doubled over, so your ears are actually pretty close to kind of its midsection where this is going on, and you hear kind of like a sickening smack, almost like a fish being butchered at a market. And you hear this creature kind of like scream in pain. It is like really worried now, as more of that kind of lava-esque, almost like opalescent, kind of this like luminous orange blood starts to pour out of it. And it kind of like feels it with its hand, which is shaking. And what it does is it uses its strength to like rip through the door basically as it stands up, somewhat wobbly. As that does so, One of the pieces of the wood splinters and lodges in your leg, Clinton, in your calf for 2 harm. And this creature starts to get up and like do its best to run away. I say do its best to run away because it is quite injured at this point. And it is also sluggish from having eaten the alley-oop brain, of course. So it is trying to make its way down Granite Lane back toward where it came. And that's what you see. Of course, you're all like injured, but there you can give chase definitely. It's almost, I imagine, kind of a horror movie scene of like everyone's fought so much that they're kind of like all, it's kind of like who has the will to stand up in the boxing ring and deliver the last blow, but it is trying to get away.
Well, so I'm on the other side of the house still. I guess I'm making my way back towards the rest of y'all. At this point, obviously, I'm thinking we are lacking the strength. So if we had a vehicle, it would be nice. But we do not. I don't know if we have enough time to like kind of look for keys for a car that's right outside.
You can look for keys if you want.
Okay, we'll look for keys because I'd like to run it over. I'd like to run it down if that's a possibility.
Yeah, you're looking for keys. Go ahead and give me an act under pressure as you kind of like fumble around in the entryway of the house to see if you can find where they have their keys.
Okay, 1 second. And so is there a modifier? I apologize.
Yeah, it is plus cool.
Okay, I got a 9.
Okay, on a 7 to 9, the keeper is going to give you a worse outcome, hard choice, or a price to pay. The worst outcome is you don't find keys to a car, but you do find keys to like a little K truck, like a tiny little like white truck, Japanese make. It doesn't look like you could run the creature over with the truck because the Abernathys are kind of like, the son is like trying to be a bad boy, but the parents are kind of hippies. So you know that they use this truck. It like runs on peanut oil, and they use it to kind of shuttle the town's compost to the municipal waste processing site, and they do that as a volunteer service for the town. So you find the keys to this little tiny white K truck, which can transport you, and you can try to smash it into the creature. You're not sure how much damage it'll do.
Okay, I think I'm getting in the car at least, in the little truck. Does it fit 2? Does it fit 3?
It'll fit 2 in the cabin, and someone could ride in the truck bed.
Okay, I don't think
with the compost pile.
Who? How is everyone injured? Because I don't think Clinton can run because his leg is screwed up. But
Clinton's got a bum leg. Mikey just kind of had the wind knocked out of him and the shoulder swiped at. So probably Clinton would ride in the bed, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want anyone in the bed. I was thinking one person in the truck with me if they want to join, and then someone follows after. I don't know, because I don't want anyone in the bed getting just literally killed.
But like what I want as just like a cinematic thinker is I want Lark and Clinton to be in the truck, Mystic Mikey on the back, and you like drive by it and then like jam the dagger or the something into it as you drive by.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Sounds good.
We squat up. Let's squat up and
over the steering wheel with my still intact hand.
The new mystery mobile. Yeah, you thank God that you had the adrenaline to keep your hand for this driving escapade. Mystic Mikey, what are you thinking as far as your weapon of choice from the back here? Are you grabbing the chainsaw or perhaps the walking stick, or are you sticking with the dagger?
I mean, I really want to whip the flamethrower out.
Yeah, man. Flamethrower this thing.
I'm a little concerned. I mean, I feel like it'll probably burn it to a crisp, and I hope that happens. But I'm a little concerned about these fish scales and just kind of worried that it's not going to work.
It's bleeding a lot now, though, so there'll be other things to catch fire. It also does have clothes on, so that's to your advantage.
Okay. All right, fuck it. We're going to flamethrower this guy.
All right, so imagine this scene. Lark is like, I got the keys to the K truck, hop in. Clinton kind of limps inside. Mikey puts on kind of the backpack of his flamethrower and like sits in the truck bed, or maybe stands up using kind of like this massive compost pile as like a balance. And Lark floors it. Mikey almost falls out of the truck, but you are gaining on this creature. Let's go ahead and do kind of a twofold roll here. With Clinton can be helping out, but I want an act under pressure from Lark to see like how good of a shot you're going to give Mikey, and then we're going to do the kick some ass for the flamethrower shot or spew or what have you. And it's plus cool for under pressure for your driving, Lark.
That is a 6.
6 is tough. We could have Clinton try to help, or you could use luck, or you could take it as a failure and mark experience.
I'm not going to use luck again.
Yeah.
I really can't do 2 in one episode. What's the worst case with the help out?
Yeah.
With the help out, the worst case would be Clinton also fails, and then just like 2 bad things, really bad things would happen instead of 1.
Okay. I'm just thinking that if one bad thing happens, well, I'm driving a car with all 3 of us in there.
Yeah.
That seems to affect all of us.
It's probably worth helping out.
Yeah. So I kind of like, I'm like grumpy at Lark, who's a shitty driver apparently. So I like do like an old man kind of grunt and take the wheel and try to get him closer to the thing. And I am rolling cool, and I roll a 3.
Wow. Still wearing the pig mask. You can use luck, though, if you would like, Clinton, because that would bump it up, and then it would avoid what would probably going to be some bad disaster.
How much will the luck help? Will it fully make this a good roll? Or
it will make it a mixed success. So that would mean I would give you a worse outcome, hard choice, or price to pay, instead of like you crash and get seriously injured and the thing gets away, which is probably what will happen if...
I'll use some luck.
Okay. So luck is fine. So make sure to mark these on your sheets that you each burned 1 luck, which puts it to a complete success. And you grant them +1 to their roll with no other consequences, which bumps the driving up to a worse outcome, hard choice, or price to pay. The price to pay that I'm going to give you, Lark, is that you can get up pretty close to the creature, but you realize that in order to do so, you're going to be carrying enough momentum toward the woods that it's going to be like pretty hard to break and slow down. So it's kind of like you're going to be risking more bodily harm to yourself and Clinton in order to give Mystic Mikey like a good shot at this thing. So you can choose whether to do that and like maintain pace with it, or you can slow down. And to be clear, like, I obviously like can't say like you don't feel like you're gonna die from it, but like it's a small truck. It doesn't seem the safest thing to be crashing into a bunch of trees, but you do notice that it's like pretty new, and neither you or Clinton is like on death's door right now. So the choice would definitely hurt y'all a lot, and you would definitely be in the hospital, but it's unclear to say like how much more or less it would hurt you than that.
I'm just thinking like my previous concern is ejecting and just absolutely immediately killing Mikey. So I don't want to do that.
Yeah. I mean, so the choice, since I phrased it in the way I did, I would say Mikey in like the process of kicking some ass would not be in the back of this truck when you slam it in to the trees. Mikey would not be dead on impact, basically.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna
Yeah, we gotta go for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
scared
Lark,
money don't make no money.
Lark, you kind of floor it as you kind of get dangerously close to the tree line of the Beaks Lamp State Forest. Mystic Mikey, go ahead and roll kick some ass as you pull the trigger on your flamethrower. As you get up kind of right close to this thing, it peers over at you with kind of these very haunted eyes. There's blood all over it. And you kind of pull the trigger of your flamethrower. What'd you roll?
I rolled a 5. Modified.
Bad rolls.
So
Bad
I'm
rolls.
gonna take a luck on that one.
Yeah. I mean, each using 1 luck in a big monster battle, that's not that bad. Okay, so complete success. You feel kind of the rush of flame pump through the end of your flamethrower, and it engulfs the being almost in what I imagine is like a. There's like this has happened a number of times. I guess like maybe in Star Wars, some other films where it's like a creature, or I guess more like an individual, is kind of like engulfed in flames mid-run, and it's still like trying, kind of limping toward the tree line, but you notice very quickly that it is like slowing down, and it drops to its knees, kind of this beacon of flame in the night. The color of its blood kind of melding with the color of the flame, which you realize is quite similar. Clinton, you kind of peer behind you as the car starts to careen into the trees, with Lark kind of feverishly pressing on the brakes to no avail. Mystic Mikey, you bail out of the back of the car and land on some grass, definitely taking a lot of harm in the process, but probably not as much as Lark and Clinton are about to take. Clinton, the last thing you see before you black out and hear this smash is kind of Cronoa's face in the flame of the creature that is now kind of gasping its last breath in this fire, and you see it wink as you pass out. And we'll end it there. And next time we will talk about kind of the consequences of the evening.
Weird America, would you give me this one thing? It's medieval, but it's as modern as something on the radio or the phone you can't put down. Weird America, I'll be seeing you around. Weird America, I'll be seeing you on the swells today.
Soil Day Radio.
For a community of weirdos built on words. Find out more at soildayradio.com.